we talked about the goal is to transform post-traumatic disorders, to prevent it, and in fact cause a post-traumatic thriving. But also, I want to even change that term to actually have a post-traumatic empowerment, to derive power from the different traumas that we go through, from the tribulations we go through, because the warrior mindset is we seek to gain power from hardship. Post-traumatic empowerment. I'm hoping to reach every one of you. You know, it's only natural at times. You've been in a lot of classes to maybe try to tune out the teachers. Not me, another guy just lecturing at you. I'm trying to give you something that you can use all your lives. And I'm doing this because I have such a profound respect for you. That's my motive for what you're doing. Colonel Mader pointed out the hua. That's like a power thought. It brings a sense of power. You repeat it all day long, hua. And it has with it a whole attitude, a whole sense of empowerment when you're saying it. But to have that empowerment, you repeat it over and over and over and over again. And that's basically what's involved with the power thought system. The thoughts I give you, you have to repeat it over and over and over again, because if you don't, when the time comes you need it, you won't think of it. You're just going to get caught up and you're going to forget it. The whole idea is to keep using it over and over. See, I used mine so much that even when I was about to black out because of my hypertensive crisis this last Friday, I still pulled my power thoughts. I'll be fine and I'm grateful. I want to gain power from facing the unknown. I want to gain power from facing the unknown, and I'm extremely grateful. I had the power thoughts right when I was close to blacking out. So I was a little bit panicky and then went right into my thoughts. The same when you're training with any of your weapons. These thoughts are thought weapons. They're weapons to protect you from negative emotions, negative thoughts, and help keep you focused on the task at hand, whether it's a fight going on, firefight, or just something you're taking care of on a day-to-day basis as a soldier, or in your civilian, or in your life as a private citizen. So you already have the experience, the background with hua. You've got that internalized. That's tremendous, powerful meaning. Matter of fact, I felt great hearing it. I love it. So I know that it's a very it's a power thought, power sound. Hua. Now, we're going to go from there. It's been used, the whole mind-body workout system, and keep in mind there's exercise that typically goes with it, and the other factors that make a thought powerful. I'm going to show with a fighter, 5-minute DVD, Francisco Bojada. I don't know how many of you, how many have seen Bojada fight? A lot of you, a few haven't. So Bojada used the power thoughts. He was getting ready for a fight, and we're going to show it's just a 5-minute DVD. So if I can get the lights cut there, please.
My name is Francisco Bojado. I'm a professional fighter.
Francisco Panchito Bojado.
I have 15 fights, 1 loss with 13 knockouts. I have 2 power thoughts. Those are the only power thoughts that the doc had given me, because I only had 2 weeks to prepare myself for a fight. And one of them was power and strength. The other one was I'm prepared and more than ready. And I use those power thoughts about 5 times, 6 times a day, and they help me out a lot on preparing myself mentally for and getting myself ready for the fight. And I think it's a great system, a great power thought system that he has, and it's something that you guys should take a try.
It's a great privilege to work with Panchito. He's a gentleman. He's an excellent boxer. I enjoy watching him. I don't really enjoy watching boxing, but I enjoy watching him. His fast punching, his defensive style, the ducking is excellent. And he used the power thought, particularly the one, I'm ready, I'm more than ready, because he especially needed that one because he only had a few weeks to train. He had a flu, he was sick, and then he had a couple of weeks of training, and he, rather than have the negative thought, gee, I've only trained a few weeks, he had the power thought, I'm prepared and I'm more than ready. And I'll let him say a few more words about specifically how that thought affects him.
Well, on preparing more than ready, I used that thought a lot for even the day of the fight, a few minutes before going into the ring to try to fight and give the best performance possible. So it helped me a lot on to prepare myself mentally. And once I was up there, the power of thought I just knew I was ready and prepared. So I think it helped me out, and it's a great system. Power, stamina, and strength. That one I used it a lot for training. I only had about two and a half weeks to train, and on that one I used it a lot. I used it about 5 to 6 times a day, and it was before my training, during my training, and after my training. And by the end of the week, after I started using the power thoughts, it's just I started noticing a big difference. It gave me more confidence, letting me know my mind and body, letting them know that I am prepared, I am ready. I have the power, the strength, and with these, even though it was only 2.5 weeks, I think the power thought gave me a lot of confidence on having the stamina to go the distance and be prepared for the fight. So it helped me out a lot.
There are times in life where we don't feel up to the challenge. It's common. I'm sure you've had it, Francisco had it, I have it. And later on you'll see a DVD where I had that to become the world's strongest man for my age and weight on the bench press. I'm going to share with you. You'll see the lift later and the power thought I had to use. So his was, I'm more than ready. He only has a couple of weeks ready to get ready for the fight, and yet I'm more than ready. And that was one of his power thoughts. So it's natural at times to feel, well, you're not necessarily up to it. Heck, I could have told myself that today, right? I felt ready to pass out. I was sitting there taking my blood pressure measurements. I could have told myself, yeah, I'm not up to doing this, right? I could have done that. But I said, no, I can do it and I will do it. So I didn't let that stop me. And in your lives, your personal lives, and your lives as soldiers on the battlefield or off the battlefield, and your supply work, whatever aspect of your contribution to the war effort is, there'll be times when you don't feel up to it. Then there are power thoughts that you're going to use for that. These are some, just giving you a sample of some, but then we're going to come to at one point 12 different power thoughts specifically tailored for you, thoughts that are going to help you as a soldier and also in your private lives as well. Now we're going to go to power thought used by the great C.T. Fletcher. C.T. is the first drug-free athlete to bench press over 600 pounds and still holds the strict curl record of 225 pounds. Now, strict curl is your back, your head, your butt all against the back wall, and you're just using your arms. You're not getting any benefit of your body. And he did 225 pounds in that. So he's used the, I'm going to give you another one for that. So he's used power thoughts to help him achieve the tremendous status that he has as an athlete. And later came on to become my trainer, and me becoming his protege later.
The Power Thought Revolution. This is Dr. Arnold Nerenberg, a board-certified specialist in psychology with over 30 years of experience, and the creator of the Power Thought system. Dr. Nerenberg has been interviewed by numerous newspapers and seen on television as an expert in psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Arnold Nerenberg.
I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg, and I welcome you now to the Power Thought Revolution. It's a method that I spent 30 years in developing, What I found was many of the results that took place in my office, whether marriage problems or issues in sports psychology, anxiety, depression, whatever, were not carrying over to everyday life as well as they should. That's why I developed the Power Thought method, and it's part of a whole revolution with amazing results in all areas of life. I hope to help you in any area that you're interested in, but particularly in the area of sports, powerlifting, bodybuilding. It's my privilege to introduce you to C.T. Fletcher, a phenomenon in his own right, the strongest man in the world in several lifts, and a true gentleman. C.T. Fletcher is a legend in the field of powerlifting.
Hi, I'm C.T. Fletcher, former 3-time world bench press champion, 2-time world drug-free strict curl champion. And I'm here to talk to you about Power Thoughts. I was introduced to Power Thoughts quite some time ago by Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. He developed a technique that I feel is the most powerful thing to come along in history for the athlete, for the competitive athlete. Specific techniques that anyone can use to improve their athletic performance. If you're at this level, it'll bring you to this level. I was already an athlete when I met Dr. Nerenberg, but he took me from the average weight room, local gym guy, to the strongest guy in the gym, to the strongest guy in the world. Well, a lot of people thought so. Power Thought, this particular contest, I was competing in the National Bench Press Championships in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Tropicana Hotel. This was my first national level contest. I competed in many statewide and citywide contests before this. This was the first time I took it to a national level. And I went in, I had my Power Thought session with Dr. Nerenberg prior to the contest. And we worked out a particular Power Thought. For this contest, I used Rolling Thunder as my Power Thought. I used Rolling Thunder when I warmed, all the way during the training sessions. Rolling Thunder is what I used as my Power Thought. And when I actually released on the bench press to actually make the lift, thunder, it was like lightning striking at that, because the push is a single, all intense, all out effort. At that moment, lightning strikes. The lightning symbolized that single, all intense effort to get that weight up. So I used the lightning strike as my momentum, as my push, as my Power Thought to make that all out effort. It was like lightning striking. That was my Power Thought for this particular contest. You'll see the 3 lifts that are in that contest, and on that occasion I was successful, and on each one of those lifts, thanks to my Power Thought and Dr. Nerenberg.
Come on, Mr. Fletcher. Come on. Come on. Come on. No
Come on. Yeah. You got it, big man. Blow away.
Come on.
Come on, team.
Come.
Let's go.
All right.
Power Thought.
277.5 kilos, which comes out to 611 pounds. This will be the heaviest bench press in drug-free lifting history.
Be the big man. Come on.
Come on.
Let's go. All the way, team.
Come on.
All the way.
Yeah.
Even preparing in the gym for the competition, my workouts. While I was at work, I always worked. I had an 8-hour day job, and then even while winning the world championships, I worked 8 hours a day. I would go all while I'm working, and whatever you're doing, you're repeating this power thought: rolling thunder, rolling thunder, rolling thunder, until it's building, it's building, it's building. And you finally get to your competition, and you can unleash that rolling thunder, and it turns into thunder and lightning. You can unleash your power, unleash the power thought, unleash it on competition day. Rolling thunder throughout the workouts, rolling thunder. Unleash your power, unleash your power thought.
Your power thought, the use of the power thought, can bring you to world level competition and victory, as it did for C.T. Fletcher.
The most difficult thing I believe that I had to do in my athletic career was not to win a world championship, but to get off steroids. And I know that many of you viewing this tape are having the same problem. You don't want to take steroids because you know and I know that in the long run, it's going to hurt you. You'll be okay for a while, you look good for a while, veins and all the chicks will be digging you, but in the end, it's going to catch up with you. You may not have children, your heart, something's going to go wrong, but in the end, you have to pay for it. You play now, but you pay later. That's what they used to tell me. They're good for only a season, but believe me, steroid users, I am not knocking you. That would be like an alcoholic who kicked alcoholism, and now he's trying to tell other alcoholics that they're bad people for taking a drink. I can't do that because I took steroids. So I can't tell you that you're bad. I understand why you take steroids. In my younger years, I took steroids because I was told that if I wanted to be Mr. America, that's what I had to do. And I wanted to be Mr. America worse than anything. I'd look at the magazines and I'd see those buff guys in there, but more than that, I knew that Mr. America got all the girls. So that's why I wanted to be Mr. America. I entered a local bodybuilding contest. My first one, I came in second place. It was Mr. Dingbat or something. But I came in second place, and the judge at the contest came to me after the contest, and he asked me what was I taking. I told him liver and vitamin A and vitamin C, and he said, no, what are you taking? I said, well, what are you talking about? That's what I'm taking. You asked me what I'm taking, I'm telling you what I'm taking. And he said, no, what steroids are you taking? I said, steroids? What's a steroid? I didn't even know what a steroid was. He said, what? Are you kidding me? Arnold and Frankel, all these guys take steroids. And I'm going, really? And he said, yeah. And he gave me the name of a doctor, his address, and I went to see the doctor. I took the address down, and I went there. He gave me a little physical examination that amounted to about 10 minutes worth of looking in my ears and nose and wrote me a prescription. I got the steroids. I went to my own pharmacist, filled the prescription, and I thought I was in heaven. I took the steroids. Within 1 month, I had gained 20 pounds of rock solid muscle. And for you bodybuilders, you know how long it takes to gain 20 pounds of rock solid muscle. So that, to me, I thought I was in heaven because I wanted to be Mr. America, and this was getting me on my way. My butt was so hard that the needle I stuck into my butt would bend in order to put the, so when you think you're at your limit and you think that you can't go any further, this is really appealing to a young guy like I was back then. I'm not a young guy anymore, but I was young back then. So this was, oh man, this was the end of the rainbow. This is what I was searching for, the quick fix. So to get off this, to stop doing this when I was making such great progress, man, That took more than I had on my own. I couldn't do it on my own. It's just like drugs. Steroids are drugs. It's just like a drug addict. Once you get a taste and you get hooked, it's almost impossible to let go. You say to yourself, the average person, how can this guy keep going back and back and back when he knows that it's hurting him? Hey, it's not only hurting him, it makes him feel good, and steroids did the same thing. They were a drug, and you can be addicted to them. But I, C.T. Fletcher, am here to tell you that you can get off steroids. You can do it if you use this. The mind is more powerful than any steroid. With Dr. Nerenberg's power thought techniques, I was able to get off steroids. Power thought.
CT's power thought, when he was going to get off of steroids and when he understood the concept that the mind is more powerful than the steroids or any drug, his power thought there was, my mind is more powerful than any drug. My mind is more powerful than these steroids. That was the power thought that C.T. Fletcher used in 1983 to become totally drug-free.
The specific power thought that Dr. Nerenberg gave me, he said, C.T., what's really important to you? And I said to him, I said, Doc, one of the most important things to me is to be Mr. America. He said, no, I want to know what is really, really important to you. And I said, what could be more important than being Mr. America? And he said, no. I mean, something that you would give your life for, and the only thing I could think of was my children. I would give my life for my children and my mother. And he said, okay, well then we'll use that as the underlying power thought to start the process to get you off steroids. You want to live, you want to be around to see your children grow up, CT? And I said, hey, you know what? I do want to be around. I do want to live. I do want to see my children graduate high school. I do want to see them get married. I do want to have grandchildren one day. And if I was continuing on the path I was on, and I'm telling you, you think you're hooked, and you cannot be more hooked than me. You cannot be more of a fanatic than I was. People would ask us, CT, okay, you're 250 pounds. How big do you want to be? I was like, hey, am I the biggest person that you know? Do you know anybody who's bigger than me? And somebody would always say, yeah, well, I know this one guy. Then I'm not big enough. As long as you know one person on earth who's bigger than C.T. Fletcher, then I was not big enough. In my mind's eye, I wanted to be the biggest. And I know there's a lot of you out there who are thinking the same thing. How big? I want to be so big that when I walk, the sidewalk would crack. I wanted people to run into each other for staring at that big guy walking down the street. That's how big I wanted to be. Are you like that? Well, you're not by yourself. I want to be earth-shattering big. I wanted to be earth-shattering big, history-making big, unbelievable. That's what I wanted to be. How big? How big? Big, huge is not enough. Past huge. I had one gear, and that was forward. No reverse, no neutral, no part. Forward, forward, forward. And I used that to motivate me and drive me in everything until I met Dr. Nerenberg. It was rage. It was that all-consuming desire to be huge. That was it. So that's when I turned to steroids, and steroids were getting me on that path. But there were other things that went along with that hugeness. There was uncontrollable anger. There was nervous fits. I would get enraged over the slightest thing. And I know there's some of you out there who are going through the very same thing. How can you get that monkey off your back? Power thoughts. Power thoughts can get that monkey off your back. Power thought.
I came up with the power thought technique because I found that insights alone and understanding truths were not enough, that we needed to be able to remind ourselves at a certain repetitive rate about the truths we know. And in my book, Power Thoughts, I talk about the need to repeat these thoughts once an hour. That's the magic formula, the secret to success, is repeating the thought, which will empower you to be the way you want to be, to achieve the goals that you want. The thought has to be repeated every hour. That's the magic formula. Power thought itself and the rate of repetition. It's the equivalent in weightlifting of 1 rep per hour, 1 repetition of that power thought per hour at least.
I would have done anything to be huge. Back then, they didn't have all these fancy steroids and stuff they had now, but they had a few. And I remember this just as plain as it was yesterday. A guy came in the gym, and he had this bottle, a clear bottle, and he was huge. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be bigger than him. And he said, hey, just take this once a week, 1 shot a week, and you'll be huge. I asked no questions. I didn't ask what it was, where it came from. I didn't ask anything. All I wanted to know was how much. He told me the price. I gave him the money. I loaded the needle. I took the shot. It was simple as that. If he told me eating rat shit would have made me huge, I would have ate rat shit. Are you there? Are you at that point? I know some of you out there listening are at that point. You can get off steroids too. Power thoughts. Power thoughts. That'll do it for you. Power thoughts will do it for you. What is really important in your life? My kids was it for me. That may not be it for you. Wanting to be around to see my children was the thing that got me off steroids. Until an addict, and if you're a steroid user, that's what you are. That's what I was. Until an addict realizes that, first of all, he is an addict, that he has a problem, and until he or she makes up in his or her mind, the mind, again, the power thought, that they need help, they want help, until you make that decision, then you won't be able to kick it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to tell you straight. You will not be able to get rid of the problem until you realize that you have a problem. I'm giving you a way to do it. Power thought. It worked for me. It can work for you. The power thought that I used was my children need me. I want to be there for them. My children need me. That was the most powerful image. And I had to repeat that. Hourly is the minimum. I did it probably every 30 minutes. My children need me. I had a serious problem. For you, you may not have such a serious problem. You may be able to kick your habit a little easier than me. But when I seen veins running through my arms and I was ripped, it was seriously hard for me to give that up. My bout with steroids lasted for a 1-year period of time, but it was a year, a very emotional year, very trying year, the most intense year of my 40-plus life. Power thought.
I've been a clinical psychologist for over 30 years, and I've been developing this method for the last 20, but have really perfected it in the last year as I've come up with the Power Thought book. I've been weightlifting for 46 years, but it's just been in the last 2 years that I've come to realize that I am a power lifter. And though I was the mentor for C.T. Fletcher to reach his accomplishments as a power lifter, the tables have now turned, and he's now my mentor in terms of being a power lifter, where I apply the same techniques that I taught to him to myself. So I'm walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
My top body weight while using steroids was 235 pounds. Through the Power Thought method, I surpassed that body weight by almost 100 pounds. I competed as a super heavyweight powerlifter at 320 pounds. I set the world drug-free bench press record, the first man in history to bench press drug-free over 600 pounds, as you will see in the tape. What got me to do this after I got off the steroids, got through that, with further help, Power Thought sessions with Dr. Nerenberg, I was able to implant another Power Thought taught to me by Dr. Nerenberg. My mind, I was going to use my mind instead of steroids to reach heights that I have never reached before. The mind now was my steroid. He taught me to use my mind in such a way that it was more powerful than the drugs had ever been. Can you imagine? You don't have to go to the health food store and get the newest thing out. You already got it. You have it. Everybody has it. You already have it. Your mind. Simply applying the Power Thought method made me realize that my mind was far superior on my physical effect than steroids had ever been. My mind was much more powerful. I set many world records. I did not set any world records while on steroids. I didn't win any competitions while on steroids. Every title, every world title, every American title, every title was won after steroids. Power Thought.
So this was the great C.T. Fletcher, a living legend in the powerlifting world. Some of you might have heard of him. Anybody that's been powerlifting for 10 or 15 years definitely knows of the great C.T. Fletcher. And he used the Power Thought system. So the method that I'm giving you is well tested. You're going to see some more applications later with myself and other situations. So what I'm giving you to help you in your individual lives and as soldiers, it's well tested. It's new to the world, but I've used it on literally thousands of people, both in road rage, anxiety, depression, sports psychology, in every area. I've used it for panic disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders. So it's well tested. So we're going to take a break, and then we come back, we're going to go over specific power thoughts that are going to apply to your life as soldiers and as citizens in general. And as you apply it, now since that time I have made a few changes. Rather than once an hour in the early days when I developed the Power Thought system, I now recommend twice an hour, but every 5 minutes the first day. Every 5 minutes the first day, then twice an hour thereafter. So I did find greater frequency was called for. Now, some people will forget to use it some of the time, and that's okay, but you want to get at least 6 to 10 a day of repeating that thought. The whole issue, and I'm going to talk to you after the break, is the ultimate issue. So I want to start off after the break with the ultimate issue, and then we're going to go into your power thoughts very shortly.